So my next question automatically moves to Sonia Relia, ma'am. She is one of our authors for early years learners. And, I wanted to ask that what do you think parents and teachers of young learners should do to foster a love of reading? And like Mr. Barry showed, what according to you are the benefits of reading? Sorry, can everyone please go on mute? Yeah, thank you. What, according to you, are the benefits of reading aloud to young learners, both at school and at home? Do you have any recommendations for parents and teachers? Just taking from where Mr. Barry left this. You're on mute, ma'am.
So Mr. O'Brien has covered so much of this, in the sense of how to read aloud. And as an early years resource person, facilitator, and somebody who's been working with little children, that's one question which everybody asks me in my workshops. And I wanted to tell Mr. Saha that, the first thing that I did when I actually did my course design was I said, every page we create for children has to be a facilitation for the teachers and parents. Because that little 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old needs someone to facilitate this whole process. And that's how reading will happen. So what I did was, because I had just 3 minutes, so I put it down into an order that came to my mind, and I'm going to just speak that for you. And I hope I can cover a process of how we visualize reading. Reading and where to start. And I was so grateful when I heard this ban writing for some time. So where to start? So readiness for reading is the most important part. Rhymes, stories, alliteration, and vocabulary must grow. The skills can be learned in any language, If you want to alliterate, you can also teach them alliteration in the mother tongue. You don't have to teach them only in English. So skills can be learned, and that is how they must grow. Children need readiness before reading. We all have to be aware and know. Reading is not a natural skill. It doesn't come like listening and speaking, right? So the connections to the brain have to find the right connects. And they have to just go right. That's how the reading becomes a journey and not as a fright. The 5 domains have to be taken care of too. The emotional domain where the children feel comfortable, the language which they're listening, which they're, like Mr. O'Brien said, enjoying the language, before they can actually pick up and want to read. They love the language. They say you learn language at the chai ka dukan, you sit on the street and you learn a new language. So let them understand the domains, let there be cognitive development, and the fact that each child will learn differently. And for each child, you need activities new. So this is like a whole range of foundation that has to grow. A bag, a simple bag, it's called a Jhola library, can become a library too. You can put in books and take out wonder. And every few days, you can spend just a little bit and put a books on you. You can have a dupatta and a cushion and make a reading corner on the ground. There can be a little reading corner in on a little chair, and books that the child is around. Curiosity to read and know more. Start a story and leave it before the end. Leave the book near the child and see what kind of signal it sends. Read to the children every day. I love the acronym that, the 100 days to reading. Dear, drop everything and read should be the way. Read at a time when the child is fine, not at a time which is convenient to you with the TV blaring at 9:30. That's no time to read to this little child. Flashcards, so flashcards are this absolute wonder for children because they can read one word at a time. And as they become good, it can be a flood, you can have same words, different words. So flashcards are a great tool for children. Plan reading clubs, when the pandemic happened and closed down and people said, how can we manage? Just plan small reading clubs. Involve children, let reading be fun. Introduce them to the holding of a book, to opening the book, to flipping the page, to smelling the book, so let them want to open and read these books. Circle time in school can begin with a read aloud too. Just a simple circle time where the teacher sits and you can begin with a read aloud too. Children love to listen to old stories. Repetition is a pattern. Every day you don't need something new. That is how children are, they'll want to listen to the same story again and again and again. And we keep giving them so much of variety. In Hindi, there's a beautiful word that says sthir. It means to be. And that's one very, very important skill to read, to be, to be able to read, to have the perceptual skills from left to right, top to bottom. Even when the child is moving a little car, left to right, the child is actually training their eyes to. So these are activities which are leading the children to read at foundation. They are not a waste of time, right? So it's very, very important. And then when you read aloud to children, it will help them to know how words are spoken and can hear some sounds. Suddenly you will see the reading explore and they will start exploring for the sounds and words and find them all around. The recognition of the letters of the alphabet and phonemic awareness is important too. It is important because if you don't recognize the basics, it is difficult for the children to read. So to understand that letters are just symbols and they can combine to make sounds and words new. Sight words and simply decodable words are found in books. Reading is both systematic. So please follow a pattern and rhythm, but is also incidental. Please never forget, and it is much simpler than it looks. Phonics must become a part of the teaching process to segment, to blend, to build words. But without that, also children read. But if you're introducing phonics, do it in a systematic, good fashion, in the correct fashion. Don't make it so complex that it scares the children. Repetition with variation can lead the way. Help them to look forward to the reading part of the day. Make it a wonder part where you're actually inviting them, not making them read. It's like, earlier people used to say, make the children write. That means they're not enjoying what they're doing. I'm making them do it. I would want them to do it. So I need to create an environment of reading. That is why I put up the wall, so that a child looks at words all around. And that's how it can actually, so look for appropriate reading resources. Do not hurry the process. Children will take a little time. When you're looking for books, what are you going to look for? You have to look for not only pictorials, but also the clarity of words, the font that is used. You have certain books with such complex, squiggly font that the children are not able to decipher. So these are little things that you can actually do to enable the children. And I think that is what would lead the children into this beautiful world of reading. So take the nouns and name everything all around. Make a little box and let them open it and, do an activity reading. Leave little notes for children, even if they are not able to comprehend what you've written for them, they will come up to you and say, "Ye kya hai? What is this?" And they will want to read. So I think reading aloud and getting them to have the wonder of reading, Malika, is what I would suggest for the early years teachers. And like I said, I hold the little parents with me too. I have to work with puppets, no? That's how early years work. So without this combination, I don't think the reading will happen. Good content and a whole lot of wonder that you create and a love for a language, and what Mr. O'Brien said, the ability to imagine. India has lovely tools. For example, if I want the child to actually want to read and imagine, I can play a beautiful little music for the child, Suno, suno, bhai, suno, 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 ek kahani. And the children would come to you and want to listen. So you can use music, you can use rhythm, and then take them into the world of reading. I think that's reading for me. Even something like saying, "Pata hai, ye nani ka thela hai, or thele mein kya hai, or this is grandma's bag. Do you know what it is, what it has? It's made of nice, colorful rags. And do you know what it has inside?" So just create that wonder and they will read. And thank you so much. Thank you.